Space, a canvas of darkness flecked with the light of 1 billion suns, but this was no serene night sky, this was war. Across the vast expanse of the Andromeda galaxy, two mighty forces clashed. The Kryptonian Empire, all gleaming chrome and ruthless efficiency, against them, the fiery passion of the Vronkar, beings of living energy. Their conflict had raged for generations, each battle pushing the galaxy closer to the brink. Commander Azilia adjusted her helmet, the cold Kryptonian steel a familiar weight. Duty, honor, victory. These were the watchwords of her people. She never questioned them, not until him. Across the ravaged battlefield, shrouded in the swirling energy of his people, stood Kale. A warrior of the Vronkar, his very essence crackled with raw power. Their eyes met across the no-man's land, a flicker of something unexpected, recognition. Their first encounter was in the aftermath of a fierce battle. The air was thick with the acrid smell of smoke, and the ground was littered with debris and the remnants of war machines. The sky, once clear, was now a canvas of dark clouds, reflecting the somber mood of the battlefield, both sides weary, licking their wounds. Soldiers, once fierce and unyielding, now sat in silence, tending to their injuries and mourning their fallen comrades. The silence was only broken by the occasional groan of pain or the distant rumble of thunder. Zelia found him by a crater, tending to a fallen comrade. The crater, a scar on the earth, was a stark reminder of the battle's ferocity. She watched as he carefully bandaged the wounds of a fellow soldier, his hands moving with a practiced ease. His touch, pure energy, flowed into the wounded Vronkar. The glow from his hands was almost ethereal, casting a soft light on the injured soldier's face. It was a sight that seemed almost magical amidst the chaos and destruction. She saw compassion in that act, a stark contrast to the brutal conflict raging around them. In that moment, she realized that even in the darkest of times there could be acts of kindness and humanity. They spoke hesitantly at first. Their words were cautious, each unsure of the other's intentions. But as the conversation progressed, a sense of mutual respect began to form. Words exchanged under a banner of truce. The white flag, a symbol of peace, fluttered gently in the breeze. It was a fragile peace, but in that moment it was enough. She learned of his hopes for peace, his longing for the days before the war. He spoke of a time when the land was green and the skies were clear, a time when laughter and joy were not distant memories. He saw in her eyes a reflection of his own weariness. It was a weariness that went beyond physical exhaustion, a deep-seated fatigue that came from years of conflict and loss. In that shared moment of understanding, they found a spark of hope in the void. Their meetings became a regular occurrence. Hidden amongst the asteroids in the neutral zone they met. Aboard Zelia's sleek metallic ship, a stark contrast to the vibrant energy that clung to Kale like a living aura. He would tell her of Vronkar legends, stories painted across the night sky with bursts of stellar fire. She, in turn, shared the ancient Kryptonian songs, tales of honor and sacrifice, whispered to the rhythm of pulses. Each encounter deepened their bond. Section 5, Sanctuaries of Love. Their love blossomed in the most unlikely of places. Once, amidst the ruins of a shattered moon, its surface shimmering with crystallized starlight. Another time, in the heart of a nebula, its swirling gases reflecting the turmoil of their emotions. They created a world for themselves, a bubble of peace in a galaxy consumed by war. Section 6, Shadows of Fear. In the vast expanse of the universe, where stars twinkled like distant memories and galaxies swirled in an eternal dance, fear lurked in the shadows. It was a fear that transcended the boundaries of space and time, a fear that gnawed at the hearts of those who dared to defy the norms. The constant fear of discovery gnawed at them. Every whisper, every shadow, every creak of the floorboards could be the harbinger of their doom. They lived in a perpetual state of anxiety, their hearts racing with every unexpected sound. The walls of their hiding places seemed to close in on them, suffocating them with the weight of their secrets. He could be branded a traitor by his people. The thought haunted him day and night. His every move was calculated, every word spoken with caution. The fear of betrayal was a constant companion, a shadow that never left his side. He knew that one wrong step could lead to his downfall, and the consequences would be dire. She, a heretic by hers. Her beliefs set her apart, made her a target. The fear of being discovered was a constant weight on her shoulders. She moved through her days with a sense of impending doom, always looking over her shoulder, always expecting the worst. Her heart ached with the knowledge that her very existence was a threat to those in power. Every stolen moment was bittersweet. The joy tinged with the knowledge it could be their last. They cherished the time they had together, knowing that it could be snatched away at any moment. Their love was a fragile thing, a delicate flower blooming in the midst of chaos. They held each other close, finding solace in each other's arms, even as the world around them threatened to tear them apart. One day, Zilia's ship was scanned as she returned from a rendezvous. The cold, mechanical eyes of the scanners swept over her vessel, searching for any sign of contraband, any hint of rebellion. Her heart pounded in her chest as she waited, the seconds stretching into an eternity. She knew that if they found anything, it would be the end of her. Suspicions grew within the Kryptonian ranks. Whispers of dissent and rebellion spread like wildfire, fueling the paranoia that gripped the High Command. They scrutinized every action, every word, searching for signs of treachery. The tension was palpable, a thick fog that hung over the ranks, suffocating them with its weight. She was summoned by the High Command. The summons was a death knell, a harbinger of doom. She walked through the cold, sterile halls, flanked by guards, her heart heavy with dread. The imposing figures of the council loomed before her, their eyes cold and unfeeling. She stood before them, her fate hanging in the balance. Her heart hammered against her ribs, a cold dread seeping into her. The room seemed to close in on her, the walls pressing in, the air growing thin. She could feel the weight of their judgment, the cold, unyielding gaze of the council. Her fate was no longer in her hands, and the fear of the unknown gnawed at her soul. Section 7. Whispers of Hope. Word of Zilia's interrogation reached Cale. He felt a chill, colder than the void between stars. He knew he had to act. He rallied the most trusted of his comrades, the ones who yearned for peace as he did. He told them of Zilia, of their forbidden love, and the hope it represented. To his surprise, there was no outrage, only understanding. A glimmer of hope ignited in their eyes. Section 8. A Galaxy Divided. The Kryptonian council chamber was cold, sterile. Zilia stood accused of treason, her love for Cale deemed a betrayal. The evidence was circumstantial, but the suspicion was a palpable weight. Just as the High Commander was about to pronounce her sentence, alarms blared. Cale, a comet of pure energy, breached the defenses of the Kryptonian flagship. Behind him, a flotilla of Vronkar ships materialized, their energy signatures pulsing in defiance. He had come for her. Section 9. A love that could heal the stars. In a galaxy torn apart by endless conflict, where the stars themselves seemed to weep for the lost and the fallen, there emerged a tale of love so profound that it promised to heal the very fabric of the universe. This is the story of Zilia and Cale, two souls destined to meet amidst the chaos and bring about a change that no one thought possible. Silence descended upon the council chamber. The air was thick with anticipation, every breath held in suspense as the fate of countless worlds hung in the balance. The council, a gathering of the most powerful beings in the galaxy, had convened to decide the future of their people. But today the usual debates and power struggles were replaced by a profound stillness. All eyes were on Zilia and Cale, the lovers reunited amidst the chaos. Their embrace was a beacon of hope, a symbol of what could be achieved if love and understanding were allowed to flourish. They had been separated by the war, each fighting on opposite sides, but their love had endured, growing stronger with each passing day. Cale spoke, his voice echoing with the combined might of his people. He spoke not just for himself, but for every soul that had suffered, for every life that had been lost. His words were a plea for peace, a call to end the senseless violence that had ravaged their galaxy for far too long. He spoke of their love, of the futility of the war, of the shared dreams they held for a unified galaxy. He painted a picture of a future where all beings, regardless of their origins, could live in harmony. His words were filled with passion and conviction, and as he spoke, the council members began to see the truth in his vision. His words, translated for all to understand, seemed to resonate in the very fabric of the ship. Then, a miracle. The atmosphere in the chamber shifted, the tension easing as the power of his message took hold. It was as if the very stars themselves were listening, their light shining a little brighter in response to his heartfelt plea. The High Commander lowered his head. In that moment, the weight of his own losses became too much to bear. He had been a staunch advocate for the war, believing it to be the only way to secure his people's future. But now, faced with the undeniable truth of Cale's words, he felt a profound sense of regret. He had lost a mate in the war. He understood. The pain of that loss had driven him to seek vengeance, to continue the cycle of violence. But now he saw a different path, one where love and unity could prevail. With a heavy heart, he made a decision that would change the course of history. The council chamber, once a place of conflict, became a beacon of hope, a testament to the power of love that could heal the stars.